Hello and welcome back to Kerbal. Wow, space program. This looks really familiar. It's time for more plane reviews, starting with an Su-27 that looks very, very similar to one I already reviewed. Is this the same thing just with weapons added? I'm a little confused. I might have made a mistake where I'm accidentally reviewing the same thing more than once. But anyhow, this is a Sukhoi Su-27, which is a super maneuverable twin-engine fighter aircraft designed by, well, Sukhoi, of course, because it's Sukhoi. And it's, let's see, intended as a direct competitor for the large United States 4th generation fighters, such as the F-14 Tomcat and F-15 Eagle. Interesting. It has heavy aircraft ordnance. Yep, looks like it. Sophisticated... what's the term? Avionics and high maneuverability. It often would fly air supremacy missions, which means, hey, I'm in charge, or something like that. That's kind of what it means. Yeah, it's designed to work with its closest U.S. counterpart is the F-15. Yeah, well, closest U.S. counterpart, like what it's similar to. Interesting. And I'm going to try not to spend too much time on it because, like I said, I think I'm accidentally reviewing one that I already reviewed because it's so similar to the other one that I reviewed, and whoa, that was close. I'm like 99% sure I reviewed this already. Also, center of lift is in front of the center of the mass, so it should be a little bit unstable by default, which is kind of what I expected, to be honest. And unfortunately, it's got a high enough part count that my computer hates it, which is nice. And if you ever wondered why so many Sukhoi Su designs look similar, I love this little paragraph about it. There are several related developments of the Su-27 design. The Su-30 is a two-seat dual-role fighter for all-weather air-to-air and air-surface deep interdiction missions. Additionally, the Su-33 Flanker D is a naval fleet defense interceptor for use on aircraft carriers. Further versions include the side-by-side two-seat Su-34 and the Su-35 Flanker E and the Shenyang J11, which is a Chinese license-built version of the Su-27. They bought the license to make these themselves. Selves. Let's go ahead and activate, there it is, activate the afterburner on it, because I noticed while I was doing stupid stunts while reading that it did not quite have the thrust-to-weight ratio to pull straight up. Ah, very nice. Very nice. Yes, this thing is very super maneuverable, as would be expected. Let's see. Thrust-to-weight ratio above 1? Yes, definitely. Alright, let's do something stupid now, like fly it very low into the ground and pull up at the last second, and hopefully survive, but maybe not. And then I'll stop, because there's not much else to say other than this is not making my computer happy and I pulled up too late. No, I didn't. Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, I pulled up too far. I was trying to do something else and I messed up. But we hit the ground at such a low speed that everything is awesome. Just rolling around, and there we go. Lovely. Next up, we have 3 versions of an F-16. Ah, yes, using procedural wings. Interesting. The whatchamacallit? That's interesting. What's the word I'm looking for? They have this. Wow, this is very strange. Is this just a wing? Isn't? Okay, that's very wrong, but that is interesting. Definitely interesting. I mean, the general wing shape on here is nice. Is there no roll control surface there? Like it's acting like it's one big wing, and then this should be an all-moving tailplane, and so should that, but it looks like they aren't. Very weird. Oh yes, that is a Panther. It's just clipped in a weird way that, yeah. Kind of like my GI-16 better. But this is closer to the accurate design because it is bigger, and the wings are definitely closer to the correct design. In fact, I'd say they're pretty much right on. They're like spot on. I think the pylon placement is a little bit different. I'm not 100% sure. Anyhow, an F-16 is a single-seat multi-role fighter aircraft originally developed by General Dynamics for the U.S. Air Force as an air superiority day fighter. And it evolved into a successful all-weather multi-role aircraft. And they made a whole bunch of them before the U.S. quit. I forgot to look at the notes on this one. They made a whole bunch of them before the U.S. quit, you know, like demanding them or whatever. This has no control surfaces whatsoever. This has no control surfaces. To be honest, I'm surprised it's survived as long as it... There we go. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, there's still improved versions of it being built today for other countries, but the US doesn't use it anymore, which is a shame in my opinion, because the F-16 is pretty fucking cool. That said, I don't know what the hell went wrong with your craft. Maybe one of the other two versions is okay. Here we have one armed for anti-air. At least I assume it's armed for anti-air because it says AA. But considering that it has ground attack stuff on it, I'm guessing it's not really supposed to be anti-air. Looks like it's mostly anti-air, but it does have a couple AGM 65s, I believe? Yes, 65s, Mavericks. And of course the laser targeter for them. I'm guessing it's the same basecraft, so I'm guessing it's not going to work either. But I'm going to try anyhow. Worst case, we get a funny everything breaking because I'm firing one of these and it doesn't have gimbal and it doesn't have control surfaces and it's going to break horribly, which should be fun. Is the reaction wheel disabled? Yes, it is. Let's go ahead and... turn it on, because else this has no controls. Let's also turn on the gimbal on... Nope, that's the wrong thing. Let's turn on the gimbal on this. And there we go. Now we have some controls. Very, very little. So we can at least fly it around a little bit, even if it's... it's got the worst roll ever because of that. And... come on, pull out of it. Pull out of it. Pull out of it. Come on, pull out of it. Pull out of it. No. No. Hey! Survived! Very nice. Yeah, that kind of sucks that didn't really work out as intended. Hey, let's take a look at the... Never mind, it doesn't have that. Well, I guess one of these action groups should switch me to the gun. No? No, nothing's gonna... Oh, I broke the BD Armory weapon manager off. That's why it won't let me switch. Also, it probably doesn't have ammo, because that probably broke too. And for the AG one, since we pretty much know that it's not going to... do anything. One is an afterburner toggle. RCS flaps. Okay. I guess you use the RCS indicator to indicate that you're using flaps. That's an interesting way of doing things. 2 cluster bombs, 2 Mavericks, ECM jamming. Ooh, like a whole freaking rack of Hellfires. Nice, nice. Interesting. Yeah, so I guess the other... It's basically air-to-air mission and air-to-ground mission, but there is some crossover, like they both have Sidewinders, so it can defend itself if necessary. Since we pretty much know it's not going to work, I'm going to go ahead and unlock the gimbal before we start, and I'm going to go ahead and turn on the reaction wheels. And here goes... where's the RCS button? There it is. So apparently we're supposed to have flaps now, but it's not working. Yeah, I can only assume the mod fucked up somehow. Or, you know, I don't know, the craft file fucked up, or the mod fucked up, or... It's something fucked up, because these should have been having stuff on there. If you can figure out what went wrong and help me fix it, then I can do this again. But I am pretty busy fairly often, so I'm not sure how easy that would be to do, unfortunately. This thing does not want to take off because the landing gear are a bit far back. There we go. And we flipped it out the same way as the last one, so we're probably fucked. So let's try doing this. I think I have a better chance of recovering if I do that. Yes, yes. Come on. Let's go this way. Okay, pull up. Pull up. Pull. Are these things like not even for some reason they're being treated like body pieces rather than like air pieces, so they're not really getting the lift that they should be. That's interesting. Also, we're having really strange reactions on the rear there. Yeah, something's definitely very wrong, and I'm very sorry about that, but I didn't do it. But it's interesting that it can still be flown despite that, just not very well. Also, I'm purposely crashing it right now, so just so you know. Oh yeah, look at that. Very nice. So it just occurred to me that I completely forgot to mention the names of the people who made those things. The Su-27 was by Tim Graff. The F-16, as noted in the, or rather the several F-16s, as noted in their little description bits, were made by or ACC, something. Yes, and this is by Anton Holman. No weapons except for one Vulcan. There's a fire switch mode, a next weapon. So you gotta say switch mode on what? I assume it's afterburner, but, you know, you gotta say, because else, switch what mode? Where? Next weapon, arm disarm, counter measures. And this is a JAS-39 Gripen, which is a light single-engine multi-role fighter aircraft manufactured by the Swedish aerospace company, Saab. Yeah, the Saab Gripen. I'm probably saying that wrong. And it was designed to replace the Draken. Interesting, in the Swedish Air Force. This looks really nice. It's really clean, really elegant. I see where you're using tweak scale. I hadn't noticed that this was tweak scale, but obviously I paid enough attention to get the correct mods, even if I completely forgot what was what. Now, of course, I'm not 100% certain, but okay. I wasn't expecting that to happen, but okay. I'm not 100% certain, but based on the indicators in the SPH, this, unlike the real thing, does not have relaxed stability, which essentially means that it's unstable, and you have to have a computer system make sure that you stay stable. This one is actually pretty stable. It's actually very stable, but the actual thing has to have a computer system very carefully keep control on that kind of stuff so that you don't horribly crash it or do something bad. But overall, forgot what 1 does. 2 does the afterburner, as I just discovered by accident. 3, ooh yes, Vulcan. Very nice. And 4. Yep. 5, I think. 5 was the... Was it? Yes, it was flares. Oh, look at that. I did a little starburst pattern. Yay. I feel happy. So yeah, this is like the base model he did, but he also sent in a couple other versions. Oh good, I didn't crash it. I thought I was going to right then. I wasn't really sure. This is probably going to end badly in 3, 2, 1. Told you. Except, the pilot has survived. So Bob, jump out. Nope, half obstructed. Never mind. Stay in here forever. The A version is loaded down with anti-ground stuff, it looks like, for the most part. Has a couple sidewinders, but otherwise it's all ground attack things. Including JDAMs. That's interesting. The Gripen J is air-to-air. Lots of sidewinders, AMRAMs. Okay, yeah, this looks like it'd be fun. And the S is below. It has, never mind, I was about to say it's blank, but actually it has a rescaled payload down here. Does this have any control stuff embedded in it? Looks like no. So is this kind of your own homemade super weapon? Is there a note in here? No. Well, let's go ahead and fly it, and actually that's a bomb. That's a giant bomb that doesn't have an engine on it. Oh, come on! Why was the bomb the first thing to go off? Okay. Now, let's go. Engage afterburner. Hit the wrong button. Switch to Vulcan. Fire on the runway. Take off. Get scared that you were gonna tap the runway and break something. And wait for it, wait for it. Bomb the VAB. Ah, yeah. I'm sorry. I think that was pretty sweet. I don't care what you think about it. I think that was pretty sweet. Let's go ahead and buzz the tower. Really close. I thought I was gonna die there, but I didn't. Oh yeah. This thing's actually a pretty good joy to fly. I like it. Shoot the tower out. I missed. We're gonna crash into it. Fortunately at a speed that I could survive. At least the first hit. Oh, yep. Now we're just gonna hang out on the rolling over on the SPH. Nice. I'm actually really happy with how that turned out. I did something stupid, and something stupid happened. And last for this time, but not least, we have an AV-8B. AV-8? Oh my god, I never noticed that before. AV-8? AV-8. AV-8B Harrier. The McDonnell Douglas Harrier. It's a jump jet. It's got Junos on it. Interesting. It's got Junos. Ah, I see what you did here. Except it kind of sticks out a little bit, so that's kind of annoying. But I imagine you had to get it to work properly. But Jesus Christ, there's a lot of stuff in here. Is that reaction wheels? No, those are the engines themselves. There's a freaking pre-cooler in here. There's SAS wheels. There's all kinds of crap in here, just jam-packed to make this work. Because it is a... oh, it's even got a freaking Weasley in here to give it more proper thrust back here, as well as some more SAS units. Yeah, this thing's clipped full of crap to just get it to work right. And on the outside, as long as you ignore the little clippy bits, it actually looks pretty damn good. And I'm imagining all these air brakes are completely inactive and are just used to style the hull, which I think is pretty cool use for them. And unfortunately, oh god, that clip's in there. There's clipping everywhere. But overall, I can see what you're doing here to make it look right. The wing shape is right. I like that very much. I like how the landing gear, you managed to make it work with stock landing gear. I'm impressed. I mean, oh, yeah, they're massively clipped, so slightly less impressed. But overall, still impressive, I think. And we'll go ahead and see how well she flies. Shit ton of engines in here. And of course, that doesn't tell me anything about how to fly it. I was hoping there'd be some instructions. Okay, one toggles... Oh, this toggles the Weasley and... Oh, I can't even see it. It toggles the Weasley and some Junos. I'm guessing that's forward. I'm guessing this would be up and down. This looks like it's definitely up and down. So 1 for forward, 2 for up and down. And that looks like about it. So of course, what kind of a test would this be if we didn't first try out the vertical takeoff and landing? I mean, it's a vertical takeoff and landing craft. You gotta do it. You just gotta do it. It's required. Alright. This is a very interesting use of those Juno engines, making a VTOL in a very small form factor like this. Come on, take off. There we go. Getting up a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Very nice. Alright, let's go ahead and pitch forward drastically. See how well we can get moving. Turn, yaw a bit. Let's do, not yaw, that was roll, but now we're yawing. Just curious what kind of maneuvers we can expect to do with it and have it work out alright. Everything's going pretty damn well. Yeah. Definitely flies very well in the VTOL mode. Definitely is pretty forgiving, it looks like. He's definitely put a lot of SAS units in there to make it so that you can do stupid things like I'm always doing. Let's go ahead and pitch up a bit. Let's pitch up a lot. And let's now do something really stupid. Rolling at low altitude while in VTOL mode. Always a very terrible idea, as demonstrated here. And I accidentally was pushing the wrong button, which exacerbated the problem. I meant to be pulling up, but instead pushed down, because sometimes you just are really, really stupid. For our second flight, we need to test a straight up normal forward, rolling down the runway, takeoff and landing, doing this. Are those middle landing gear even touching the ground? Yeah, I think so. Okay, there we go. Oh yes, the tail design is great. I love it. I forgot to actually look up what it was. I mean, I know what it is vaguely, but you know, I want to say what the things. It's a single engine ground attack. Yeah, it's actually a single engine. There's a single engine that powers multiple thrust things right here, and the actual engines are just these bits on the real thing. It's a ground attack aircraft that constitutes the second generation of the Harrier jump jet family. Oh, I never noticed that before. Harrier 2. There was actually a Harrier 1 and a Harrier 2. I need to look that up because I'm curious about that. So yeah, capable of vertical or short takeoff and landing. Yes, of course. And it was designed in the late 1970s as an Anglo-American development of the British Hawker Sedley Harrier, the first operational V/STOL aircraft. Named after a bird of prey, it's primarily employed on light attack or multi-role missions, ranging from close air support of ground troops to armed reconnaissance. It was used by the U.S. Marine Corps, the Spanish Navy, and the Italian Navy. A variant of it for the British Aerospace Harrier 2 was developed for the British military, while another is a dedicated two-seat trainer, the TAV-8B. Cool. Yeah, so cooperative effort between the US and the UK aimed at addressing the operational inadequacies of the first-generation Harrier. Earlier efforts centered on a larger, more powerful Pegasus engine to dramatically improve the capabilities of the Harrier. Due to budgetary constraints, the UK abandoned the project in 1975. That would explain why it's the McDouglas Harrier. And following the withdrawal of the UK, the McDonnell Douglas extensively redesigned the earlier AV-8A Harrier to create the AV-8B. While retaining the general layout of the predecessor, the aircraft incorporates a new wing, an elevated cockpit, a redesigned fuselage, and some other words that I can't read because I was paying attention to what I was doing. An extra hardpoint per wing, and other structural and aerodynamic reinforcements. Cool. Am I putting the landing gear right? Yes, I am. No actual air brakes, but I do have brakes enabled. Very nice. Let's go ahead and drop our throttle down real low. I think we'll be fine just like this. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Oh, jeez. Yep, I knew that was going to be a bit of a rough landing. So that was more of a short takeoff and landing than a vertical takeoff and landing. But it does demonstrate the concept that you can do such a thing, I think, fairly well. Let's go ahead and take off again. Ah, yes. Very nice. Interesting. Typically operated from small aircraft carriers, large amphibious assault ships, and simple forward operating bases. Yes, because it's, you know, vertical / short takeoff and landing. Very nice. I'm just gonna see how well it survives taking off with no input. Seems to be doing alright. Very nice. Ah, cool, there's this really cool picture of it being developed, like, of one being built, one being converted from a Y AV8B to a... what? Oh, this is a AV8A being converted to a Y AV8B. It's an old black and white picture. It's really cool looking. Alright. So, now that we're at a higher altitude, I'm going to do that really stupid thing again where I do a barrel roll while in VTOL mode, but I'm also switching modes at the same time so that hopefully everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. That went surprisingly well. And it's no surprise that I died there a little bit. It was electric charge running out. All those SAS wheels have to draw their power from somewhere. So this thing, while it does have substantially good reaction wheel control, it doesn't necessarily last so well. Let's go ahead and put this down to 2/3 throttle, VTOL mode, and let's try not to crash into anything. Let's go ahead and put the landing gear out again. Let's go ahead and we're going to kind of slow down, maybe gain altitude a little bit, maybe pull up on top of the VAB. I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with it just at the moment. In fact, actually, I need to full throttle it because we're going down and I want to go up. Up, 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 up. Up, 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 up. Come on. Go up. Very nice. It's very nice to fly, though. I love that. It's very nice to fly. Let's go ahead and throttle down just a little bit. Even with me pitched back, it's going up more than back. Very nice. Okay. Come on, let's turn this way. Turn the thrust down a bit. Turn the thrust down even more. Turn the thrust up, because I accidentally turned it down too much. Let's not crash into the end of the... Let's not crash into the building, please. Thank God for SAS wheels. Thank God for SAS. That would have been quite ugly had we not had SAS. There we go. Alright, let's go ahead and throttle it down again. And we should come down on these fairly easily. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Whoops. And touchdown. Turn off the engines. There we go. Fairly reasonable landing considering it was, you know, I'm not very experienced with VTOLs. It's been a very long time since I've flown one. And this is very forgiving because like I said, I haven't flown one in a long time, so I'm not very used to it. I'm not very used to the delayed reaction to the jet throttle. I'm not used to, you know, having to carefully manage whether you're going forwards and backwards, left or right, up and down all at once like that. But I think I flew it pretty well, which means that this was well designed. Thank you very much. Definitely my favorite out of this batch. Very, very nice. I love it. Just a bit too many parts for my computer to really like. It did a lot better than that other one that I was like, you know, did a lot better than the Su-27 as far as part counts. And the clippiness kind of bugs me, but, you know, the performance of it works so nice that I'm just like, I can't be mad at any part of it because it's very nice. Anyhow, thanks for watching, as always, and I'll see you in space.